How to stand out when you're short on experience and applying for a job. You've probably experienced this. Open job board, see the dream role, think, I crushed this. But then you scroll, you see the required experience, niche tools, and suddenly you feel like an imposter. This video will give you the exact playbook to flip that and stand out, even if your resume is blank. If you give me just the next 10 minutes of your time, the choice is yours. By the end of this video, you'll understand a simple but powerful system for standing out, even if you have no matched experience for the job you're applying for. Hey, if you're new here, I'm Raman. Over the last 8 years, I've gone from being an invisible PhD graduate to receiving offers from prestigious firms and companies. And now I share my thoughts on how underdog graduates and early professionals can build careers that actually go somewhere. Today, I'm going to walk you through the second level of my 3-level job game plan framework, and it all comes down to 3 signals. Signal 1, your presence. Signal 2, your proof. And signal 3, your fit. I'll break them down for you step by step and help you map them to your own story. And later in this video, I show you how to turn even a student project or side hustle into a proof of value that employers remember. Let's dive in. By looking at the job description, you know you could do the job. You've got the mindset, the drive, and you're ready to learn fast. But on paper, you don't check all the experience boxes, or maybe none at all. When I talk to clients about this catch-22 experience situation, it usually comes down to 2 typical career scenarios. You're either early in your career and you think you don't have any whatsoever relevant experience, or you're switching industries or markets and you think your past experience doesn't seem to translate at all. But regardless of the scenario, in my view, this isn't about crafting better bullet points on your resume or cover letter. It's about repositioning how you're perceived. Often candidates are uncomfortable to position themselves in a way that grabs attention and it sticks. The solution to this is what I call clarity in your signal. Some might call it personal branding or value positioning, but here is what really means. The way you show up and what that tells employers about who you are and what you're bringing. Because if you don't get this right, no resume, no referral, no cover letter is going to help. Clarity in your signal means communicating your value at least in 3 distinct but connected ways. These 3 aren't checkboxes. They are signals that stack together to shape how employers perceive you instantly. Signal 1, your presence. This is your energy, your vibe. Are you someone they want in the room? It's about confidence, yes, but also curiosity, eagerness to help, willingness to grow. Think about how you show that. Let me give you a cautionary tale of mine. Back in 2016, I applied for a very analytical, coding-heavy role at energy company to work in the hedging department. I nailed the technical case, but in the interview, I got excited, started talking about strategy, business angles, the big picture. The hiring manager didn't see me as someone who'd enjoy crunching numbers and coding all day. In other words, my signal was off for that heavy analytical role. Maybe that was for the best, but it taught me something. Your presence has to match the role. If it's a people role, bring energy. If it's deep analytical role, show calmness and focus. My advice is to gather intelligence about ideal character for the role you are aiming for before you meet anyone. And once you get in touch with people, read the room. Signal 2, your proof. Now that potential employers like your presence, they want to know what you can actually do. This is about the tools and relevant past experiences you already have, the skills you have picked up from internship, courses, or even part-time jobs. You don't need to tick every requirement in the job description, so be confident. In my view, you need to show that you have solved related problems before and that your experience and capabilities have prepared you to solve bigger ones now. Maybe you haven't used Power BI in a corporate setting, but if you have learned how to build dashboard for a student society, that counts. You just need to frame it right. Maybe it's a story of how you volunteered to lead university club project or helped out in a family business or thought yourself excelled during a summer break. These aren't throwaway anecdotes. These are signals. To crystallize the importance for this step, let me give you a quick example from a past client. Let's call her Sarah. She thought her only real experience was helping her parents manage their shop. But when we dug deeper, it turned out she was tracking expenses, managing stock, and interacting with customers. That's operation, that's finance, that's customer service. She just didn't see it that way until we reframed it. And now, here is the last but the most important signal. Signal 3, you're fit. This final piece is what makes you unforgettable. You need to show how your past experience, no matter how unrelated, makes you uniquely valuable in the new role. Here is a trick. Ask yourself, where have I made something better? Did you develop something, improve something, solve something no one else saw? Now ask, how does that translate here right now for this role? The goal here is to aim to appear as a linchpin for that role or the organization, not a cog in the wheel. It's the idea Seth Godin explored in his book, The Linchpin, is being indispensable, not because you follow instruction perfectly, but because you bring initiatives, creativity, and emotional labor that others won't. A linchpin is someone who creates connection, sees opportunities, and become essential not by checking boxes, but by driving positive change. This ideal target of being a linchpin doesn't mean being flashy or loud. It means being valuable in a way that can't easily be replaced. Let me give you another real moment. There was a time I applied to a role I was underqualified on paper, no direct academic education, no previous employer around that field. But what I did was that I shared a story from my tiny startup project during my PhD program. I built a case for why those challenges I tackled, like pitching to investors under suboptimal circumstances or managing crisis timelines or other individuals and subcontractors, made me useful in a business role. I didn't get ghosted. I got invited to pitch again because the signal was clear. I can drive things forward on my own with limited supervision. But if you don't learn to position yourself like this, someone less qualified but better framed will get the job. And you will be left wondering what you did wrong. So if you want to have a strong clarity in your communication, you need to connect the 3 signals. Who are you really as a person? What can you do? And how does that make you valuable right now to this employer? This doesn't happen by chance. You need to craft it like a story arc, and it takes time. And of course, practice to be confident in communicating your story and your value. Because if you don't believe your own value, it'll show. And I've seen this play out so many times. Clients telling me, but I have no experience, I have nothing to offer. They repeat that sentence so often, they start believing it. And when they open their mouths in interviews, it shows. The pitch feels shaky, the energy is off. It's like They're apologizing for being in the room as if they don't belong. And if you experience any of these, that is where you do a bit of homework, at least by applying these 3 signals in your communication. You take all the pieces of your background, even the messy, the random, non-linear bits, and you turn them into a coherent story. A story that says, here is who I am, here is what I have learned, here is how I can help you win. And when you tell that story with clarity and conviction, that's when recruiters lean in. That's where you hear, tell me more. Remember, clarity alone isn't enough. You need what I call the access to the side door. We'll tackle that final 3rd piece of the job game plan framework in the next video. Click here to dive right into it.